We're here with Spencer Kohler, recently married Spencer Kohler. And this is going to be the second episode of the WannaBe Profiles.
That's a good title.
Yeah, get it because it's WannaBe Pro.
Yeah, no, for sure.
What's your name and where are you from?
Yeah, name is Spencer Kohler, formerly Spencer Strom. Originally from Hilliard, Ohio. Proud Midwestern boy.
Yeah, how'd you end up in Utah?
Yeah, so once I finished at university, COVID just like spurned in my mind. I was so tired of like the life I was living, needed to go somewhere new, wanted to go somewhere where there was beautiful outdoors, and kind of just drove west. Once I got to Utah, fell in love with the mountains here and everything. Explored around a few other places in the West, and there's a lot of great in the American West, but this is the spot.
How'd you know Utah though?
Yeah, I mean, it was really just like I explored a few different spots and thought this place had the best job opportunities, proximity to the outdoors, and eventually I got to know some really good friends here, which is what made me want to stay.
Was there a specific, YouTube channel or something that got you out here?
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I mean, honestly, I forgot about it because WannaBe Pro is the best Utah-based YouTube channel. I just didn't know about it at the time, but Mediocre Amateur definitely was something I was watching a lot during COVID, and they inspired me to check out Utah as one of the places that I should consider when I was coming west for sure.
Yeah, shout out Danny Bryson.
For sure.
Yeah, what do you like about being in the mountains specifically?
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I mean, there's kind of just like a peace that comes over me when I'm in the mountains. I feel like one thing that I've always loved about like endurance sport is the ability to like really just like get in depth and have a conversation with somebody else you're with. And I feel like doing it in the mountains is even like a more heightened version of that thing I experienced in like high school and cross country track. Just because like there's more time and just like more beauty around you and like things to talk about, and it's just such a engaging environment that like, yeah, I feel like the mountains is the perfect place to bond with the people that are around you. And
there's like few distractions, I feel like, because you can't be on your phone.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think we met like what? I guess almost probably 3 years ago?
Yeah, it must have been January or February.
2022.
2022.
Yeah.
We got together for a run pretty close to here, actually. Yeah, that was a fun workout. It was good to get to know you and Garrett that day and Finn later. And I feel like that whole season of like doing workouts together before canyons was like such a good time for me. That was my first time making like really good friends in Utah that like I knew I was gonna be lifelong friends with. And like you specifically, like I feel like we were like slow to get to know each other, and I think that was a good thing for our relationship in the long run. Like I like that we really like took time, and like I only really like realized you were like someone I bonded with and like wanted to chat with, like just over many interactions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you remember what your first impression was then? It sounds like, yeah, it was kind of slow, I remember.
Yeah, a little bit. I remember on that first run, like, Garrett was pretty loud. And so, like, I got a clear impression of him, which ironically isn't, like, how he's been in me knowing him ever since then. He's, like, way less loud than I thought he was. But by contrast, I think on that first run, you were pretty quiet. And I was like, okay, so this guy is just, like, a subtle guy, smart dude, fellow East Coaster. But then later I realized you're a bit louder than I thought you were that day.
Yeah. What's like some mountain experience or something? It doesn't have to be anything like big or anything. It could be small if that's one that like kind of piece out in your mind.
Yeah, no, I mean I have to shout out our Grand Teton this summer. Like Grand Teton, since I moved west, like I went to the Tetons one of my earliest trips out here, and like it's just been something I wanted to do since the first time I saw it. Like that's just such a majestic mountain. It's undeniable. I mean, obviously I also had a ton of fun on our trip to Chile. And so many other things we've done, but Grand Teton definitely stands out.
Yeah, dude, Sonoma Peak.
Yeah, dude.
That was sick. So you brought up Chile. What was going through your mind, especially like, yeah, you know, from the start to the top?
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about it on our run. That first day, I'm still to this day regretful that we didn't go all the way to the top of, I think it was Cerro Mono Blanco. And that was a cool experience. And then once we got to Volcan San Jose a couple days later, I mean, that was one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Yeah.
The altitude, I mean, like, it was definitely hard, but I feel like we got through it. And then I don't know. I felt good the whole way up until it got so incredibly cold at the top. And then getting a little sick on the way down, but then felt good after I puked. And yeah, it was a great day overall. What can I say?
Shout out to the dude who saved. Well, thought he was saving your life, and then you puked up all of the...
Some good tea from my man.
I'll never forget. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Okay, so I feel like you're pretty well known in the area for doing like a pretty unique thing where you have like a goal that I guess you set for yourself every year.
Yep.
And they're always like, they're not like, like New Year's resolution goal where it's like, I'm gonna go to the gym every day. It's like something kind of more extravagant. What was the origin of that, and like, what do you think's going forward?
So it's funny, like every goal that has actually been one that I achieved has come kind of naturally, including the very first one. Like I didn't set out, I think 2021 was the first year. I didn't set out at the start of that year and say, I'm gonna run for 1 hour every day for the full year. I think it was like a month or so into the year I realized I had been doing that, and then I was like, oh, this is something that would be cool if I just kept doing this for the whole year. This last year was summiting the highest mountain in every county in Utah on foot or on skis. And that was a really fun experience. I love the state and getting to know all of the different areas of the state, and I feel like I've actually put my eyes on like every piece of land in the state now, and that's pretty cool to be able to say.
What was the best one?
That's a really hard question. There were a lot of really cool things, but like none of them were quite as cool as like a Grand Teton. I guess I'll give a shout out to the biggest day I did. I did like, I think it was like a 10 or 11 hour route in the Uintas doing Kings Peak and Gilbert Peak. I was completely solo, but like it was just fun just moving around in like the big bouldery rocks that are up there in the Uintas.
Yeah.
That was a pretty fun one.
Okay, so another thing you're also known for is like obviously everybody has Strava out here, and like we write in descriptions or whatever, and one that specifically used this one word that I don't think I'd ever heard this word actually ever before in my life, but just talking about, good banter, levels of banter or something like that, but the word banter always comes up. Like every run I'm like, man, I hope I get a good banter one in Spencer's Strava caption. Is there anything you can think of, like a good conversation or something funny, or like, I feel like we've talked about like literally everything, so.
Yeah, totally. I got a first shout out for the origin of good banter. I had on my college track team at Miami of Ohio, there were a lot of Brits on that team, and particularly one of my teammates, Ryan Sharkey from Northern Ireland. He would use the word banter all the time, and I feel like I kind of stole it from him, so shout out to Sharkey. Now, like, good banter happens all the time, but there are definitely certain people that have the best banter. I'll say, whenever I get Jacob and Eric Gelfie and myself in the same space, banter is immaculate. I think the best banter for me comes when I can get a little bit heated, honestly. Like, not going to the full extent of, like, angry, but if I'm, like, in a lively debate, that's good banter. I mean, just recently I was out with you and Zach, and we had some pretty good banter going on about this United Healthcare CEO situation. I feel like I was getting a little heated. I don't know if anyone else was.
Oh yeah, that was going. I can feel the passion.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the most gripped you think you've ever been? Obviously, for the people who don't know what grip means, it means spooze.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, that is a very good question. Okay, so the situations that I've actually felt like I've been in genuine danger in the mountains are actually not like gripped, spoozed kind of situations. Like all the times where I was actually at risk, I feel like is because I was close to hypothermia. I got a problem with preparing well for the cold, apparently. Shout out to Volcan San Jose. One other time I was on Mount Timpanogos in some nutty rain with Sam Collins. And yeah, I need to do better with that. As for gripped, probably that first time we did the Goddess Traverse on Mount Olympus, trying to do that down climb. I think I was stanky legging for like 15 minutes while you waited for me. And I'll say, since having done it 3 more times, it was extremely easy every time after that first time. So
yeah, that first time.
Sometimes you just have to get through it once and then it's easy.
Rapid fire questions. It's gonna be 5 questions. You have 5 seconds for each of them. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Hero or Zero? Luigi Mangione.
Hero.
Okay, who wins in a head-to-head matchup at UTMB? Sam Collins or Zach Gardner?
Oh, I hope it's gonna happen next year. Zach.
Oh, yeah. That's a tough one. Third one. Hottest guy in the Wasatch?
Matt Peterson.
Wow, okay. Favorite trail in Utah?
Ooh. Mount Nebo backside trail.
Dang, backside?
I've only done it once, but I mean, dude, that's a sick trail.
Last but definitely not least, most important question, favorite Imperial unit?
Oh wait, actually no, this is easy. Fahrenheit's goated.
What do you like Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit is the best temperature system because 0 is intuitively pretty cold and it's pretty cold. 100, it's intuitively pretty hot and it's pretty hot. It makes so much sense. Stick with Fahrenheit, people.
All right, it's a rapid fire, so we won't dig on that anymore. That was round 2. Spencer Kohler of the WannaBe Profiles. Thanks again.
Woo.